was not born into wealth. He was not born into luxury. Howard Schultz came from a poor family in Brooklyn, New York. He grew up in a small apartment in a housing project. His father worked hard, but life kept knocking him down. Injuries, job loss, frustration, and no safety net. Howard saw what it meant to struggle. Howard saw what it meant to feel powerless. And he made himself a promise. One day he would build something better. One day he would create a life where dignity was not optional. But the road to that dream, it wasn't smooth, it wasn't easy, it was filled with rejection. It was filled with voices telling him you can't. It was filled with failures that could have broken him. But Howard Schultz refused to break. He refused to give up. He worked his way through school. He became the first in his family to graduate college. He didn't have money. He didn't have connections, but he had grit. He had hunger, he had vision. He started in sales. He worked at Xerox, learning the grind. And then he discovered a little coffee company in Seattle, a company called Starbucks. At that time, Starbucks didn't even sell cups of coffee. They sold beans, grinders, machines, small, modest, unknown. But Howard saw more. He traveled to Italy. He walked the streets of Milan. He saw the espresso bars buzzing with life. He saw community. He saw culture. He saw more than coffee. He saw connection. And he thought, this is what America needs. This is what the world needs. But when he came back, Starbucks said no. They didn't believe in his vision. They didn't believe in selling coffee by the cup. They didn't believe people wanted more than beans. They didn't believe in him. So Howard had a choice: give up or step out on his own. He chose courage. He chose struggle. He chose to fight for his dream. He left Starbucks. He started his own company, Il Giornale. He worked tirelessly. He raised money, though many said no. He convinced a few believers to give him a chance. And when Starbucks came up for sale, Howard Schultz bought it. He took over the name. He took over the brand. And he transformed it into a global empire. But success wasn't instant. Success wasn't guaranteed. It came with sleepless nights. It came with fear. It came with doubt. There were times Starbucks almost failed. There were times critics said it was over. There were times mistakes nearly ruined everything. But Howard Schultz didn't run from responsibility. He stepped back in. He led again. He fixed what was broken. He rebuilt trust. And he reminded the world why Starbucks mattered. Because for Howard, coffee was never just coffee. It was dignity. It was opportunity. It was giving workers health care, even part-timers. It was giving stock ownership to baristas. It was creating a culture where people mattered. It was about lifting lives, not just making profits. That was his true mission. That was his true legacy. So what do we learn from Howard Schultz? We learn that poverty is not the end. We learn that struggle can become fuel. We learn that rejection is not a wall, it's a door. We learn that vision matters more than approval. We learn that courage means betting on yourself. We learn that leadership is about serving others. We learn that success is not just money, it's impact, it's dignity, it's legacy. Howard Schultz turned hardship into hunger. He turned failure into fire. He turned rejection into resilience. He turned a small coffee shop into a global community. And he never forgot where he came from. That's why his story matters. That's why his struggle inspires. That's why his journey teaches us all. So the next time life knocks you down, remember Howard Schultz, the boy from the projects who built an empire, the dreamer who faced rejection but refused to quit, the leader who turned struggle into opportunity, the man who proved that success is possible, not just for the privileged, not just for the connected, but for anyone bold enough to believe. Your background does not define you. Your past does not control you. Your failures do not destroy you. They prepare you, they shape you, they teach you, they push you towards your future. and so can you. So rise from the struggle, turn pain into purpose, turn rejection into resilience, turn rejection into victory, because greatness is not